Men over 60, I need you to go to your freezer right now and grab an ice cube. Not for your drink, not for an injury, for something you'd never expect. This ice cube technique can trigger an instant blood flow surge that floods your penis in under 60 seconds. And before I show you exactly how to do it, you need to understand the science behind why this works. Because once you understand the mechanism, you'll know exactly why this 30-second technique is so powerful. I'm Dr. Jocelyn, and for over 14 years, I've been helping men over 60 reclaim their performance using science-backed techniques. No pills, no prescriptions, no expensive treatments, just methods that work with your body's natural biology. I've dedicated my career to understanding male physiology and finding solutions that don't require pharmaceutical intervention or invasive procedures. What I'm about to share with you today is one of the most effective techniques I've ever encountered, and it costs you absolutely nothing. And this ice cube method, it's based on contrast therapy, a technique professional athletes have been using for decades to boost circulation and recovery. You've probably seen football players sitting in ice baths after games, or Olympic athletes using cryotherapy chambers. The principles behind those treatments are exactly what we're applying here, just targeted to a very specific area for a very specific purpose. Let me explain the science first, then I'll show you the exact technique. Now, quick note before we dive in. It's January. It's cold outside. So when I say use an ice cube, I'm not asking you to turn into a popsicle. We're talking about strategic, brief cold exposure. This isn't about torturing yourself or making yourself miserable. It's about using cold intelligently to trigger a specific physiological response. Stay warm, stay safe, and let's do this the smart way. Here's what's happening in your body when you apply cold to a specific area. Understanding this will help you execute the technique correctly and get maximum results. Mechanism number 1, vasoconstriction followed by rebound vasodilation. This is the most important concept to understand, so I want you to really pay attention here. When cold touches your skin, your blood vessels immediately contract. They get smaller. This is called vasoconstriction. Your body is basically saying, cold detected, protect the area. Constrict blood vessels to preserve heat. It's a protective mechanism that's been hardwired into our biology for millions of years. But here's where the magic happens. When you remove that cold stimulus, your body doesn't just return to normal, it overcompensates. This is a crucial point that most people miss entirely. Think of it like a rubber band. When you pull it tight and then release it, it doesn't just go back to its original position. It snaps back with force. There's momentum behind that release. Your blood vessels do the same thing. When you remove the cold, they don't just open back to their normal size. They expand wider than they were before the cold was applied. This is called rebound vasodilation, and it floods the area with fresh, oxygen-rich blood. This isn't theory or speculation. This is established physiology that's been studied extensively. Professional athletes use this exact principle in ice baths and cryotherapy. Brief cold exposure, followed by warming, creates a circulation surge that speeds recovery and enhances performance. We're simply taking that same proven principle and applying it strategically to improve erectile function. Now, mechanism number 2, nerve activation and adrenaline response. This is where the technique becomes specifically relevant to male sexual performance. Your perineum, that's the area between your scrotum and your anus, sits directly over something called the pudendal nerve. This nerve is absolutely critical because it controls erectile function. It's the main neural pathway that governs blood flow to your penis and the sensation you experience during sexual activity. When you apply cold to this specific spot, you're not just affecting blood vessels. You're shocking thousands of nerve endings into action. Those nerve endings send urgent signals up to your brain. Temperature change detected. Increase blood flow immediately. Your brain responds by releasing a small burst of adrenaline and triggering vasodilation throughout your entire pelvic region, not just at the cold spot, but in all the surrounding tissue, including your penis. This is why location matters so much. You can't just apply ice anywhere and expect results. The perineum is the most nerve-dense area you can access externally that directly connects to erectile tissue. It's like having a direct line to your body's blood flow control center. When you stimulate this area correctly, you're essentially sending a wake-up call to your entire erectile system. Studies on contrast therapy show that this technique can increase local blood flow by 200 to 300%. Let me repeat that because it's significant. We're talking about double or triple your baseline circulation. That's a massive increase in blood flow, and it happens without any medication, without any devices, without any side effects. And the effect happens fast. Within 30 to 60 seconds of removing the cold, you're experiencing peak blood flow. This isn't something you have to wait hours for. The response is almost immediate, which makes timing this technique before intimacy incredibly effective. Now here's the part most men don't understand, and it's absolutely critical to getting this right. This technique works because of the contrast. Your body is already warm inside, especially in your core and pelvic region. Your internal temperature sits around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, regardless of what's happening outside. When you apply brief cold to a specific nerve-rich area, you're creating a temperature shock. Your body interprets this as, we need to protect this area, flood it with warm blood, now. So even though it's winter and cold outside, this technique actually makes you warmer where it counts. The contrast between your warm core and the brief cold stimulus is what triggers the rebound effect. Without that contrast, you don't get the same response. Think of it like a thermostat. When the temperature drops suddenly, your heating system doesn't just maintain, it overcompensates. It kicks into overdrive to bring the temperature back up and then some. Your body does the same thing. It's an automatic response that we're deliberately triggering for our benefit. Now that you understand why this works, let me show you exactly how to do it. I'm going to break this down step by step so there's absolutely no confusion. Follow these instructions precisely for the best results. Here's the step-by-step technique. Step 1. Get 1 ice cube from your freezer. Just 1, not a whole tray. 1 ice cube is all you need. More isn't better here. We want controlled, targeted cold application. Step 2. Wrap it in a thin cloth or paper towel. This is critical, and I cannot stress this enough. Never apply bare ice directly to skin, especially in this sensitive area. The cloth protects against ice burn while still allowing the cold to penetrate effectively. A thin washcloth or a single layer of paper towel works perfectly. You want the cold to get through, but you need that barrier for protection. Step 3. Find your perineum. That's the spot between your scrotum and your anus, about the size of a quarter. Take a moment to locate this area precisely before you begin. If you've never paid attention to this spot before, spend a few seconds familiarizing yourself with where it is. Accuracy matters here because this is where the pudendal nerve is most accessible. Step 4. Place the wrapped ice cube on that exact spot. Make sure you have good contact with the area. You should feel the cold penetrating through the cloth within a few seconds. Step 5. Hold for 10 seconds. Count slowly. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, all the way to 10. Don't rush the count. A proper 10 seconds ensures you get adequate vasoconstriction without causing numbness or discomfort. Step 6. Remove completely for 5 seconds. Take the ice cube away entirely and let the area start warming. This is when the rebound vasodilation begins. You might even feel a slight warming sensation as blood rushes to the area. Step 7. Reapply for another 10 seconds. Repeat this cycle 3 times total. Total ice contact time, 30 seconds spread across 3 applications. That's it. Simple, fast, effective. The whole process takes less than a minute, and you've just triggered a significant blood flow response. Now, when should you do this? 2 to 5 minutes before intimacy. Not during, not an hour before. The timing matters because the rebound vasodilation effect peaks within those few minutes. You want to time it so the blood flow surge happens right when you need it. If you do it too early, the effect will have diminished. If you try to do it during intimacy, it disrupts the moment and doesn't give your body time to respond properly. Now, let me show you the 3 most common mistakes men make with this technique, because getting these wrong can actually prevent the results you're looking for. I've seen men try this and report no effect, and almost always it's because they made one of these errors. Mistake number 1, using bare ice directly on skin. This is dangerous, especially in winter when your skin is already dealing with cold and dry conditions. You can cause ice burn or temporary numbness, which is the exact opposite of what we want. The cold needs to penetrate, but gradually. The thin cloth allows this while protecting your skin. Don't skip this step under any circumstances. It might seem like direct contact would be more effective, but it's not. It's just more dangerous. Mistake number 2, leaving the ice on too long. Some men think more is better. They leave the ice on for 30, 45, even 60 seconds straight. Wrong. This causes actual numbing, which blocks the nerve signals we're trying to activate. You end up with reduced sensation instead of increased blood flow. You've essentially frozen the nerve instead of stimulating it. 10 seconds is the sweet spot. Brief enough to avoid numbness, long enough to trigger the vasoconstriction that leads to rebound vasodilation. Trust the timing. It's based on how your physiology actually works, not guesswork. Mistake number 3, doing it while you're already cold. If you're shivering, if your hands are freezing, if the room is cold, this technique won't work as well. Remember, it's the contrast that matters. If your body is already cold, adding more cold doesn't create the shock response we need. Your vessels are already constricted from the ambient cold, so you don't get that dramatic rebound effect. Solution: warm up the rest of your body first. Put on warm socks. Make sure the room is heated. Get comfortable. Maybe take a warm shower first, or sit under a blanket for a few minutes. Then apply the ice to the specific spot. The contrast will be powerful because your core is warm while the targeted area gets brief cold exposure. We're using strategic cold, not making ourselves miserable. Smart technique, warm environment. This isn't about suffering through cold. It's about using temperature contrast intelligently. Now here's the advanced version for those who want to maximize results. Contrast therapy cycling. This takes the basic technique and amplifies it significantly. After your 3 ice applications, immediately follow with a warm washcloth on the same spot. The washcloth should be comfortably warm, not hot. You can run it under warm water and wring it out. Hold warm for 10 seconds, then back to ice for 10 seconds. Alternate 3 times. This doubles the blood flow effect because your vessels are expanding and contracting repeatedly. Each cycle of constriction and dilation pumps more blood into the area. You're essentially giving your circulatory system a workout that dramatically increases blood flow to the pelvic region. Winter tip: if you're already cold, warm up the rest of your body first. Heated room, warm socks, comfortable temperature, then use the ice on the specific spot. The contrast works better when your core is warm. Some men find it helpful to do this after a warm shower, when their body is nice and heated up. That warm baseline makes the cold contrast even more effective. Important safety note: if you have circulation issues, diabetes that affects your circulation, Raynaud's syndrome, or extreme cold sensitivity, skip this technique entirely. Your safety comes first, always. Some men with these conditions can experience adverse reactions to cold exposure, and it's not worth the risk. If you're shivering or uncomfortable, stop immediately. This should be brief and controlled, not miserable. You should never be in pain or extreme discomfort. If something doesn't feel right, trust your body and discontinue. Let's recap the entire technique so you have it clearly in mind. 1 ice cube wrapped in cloth. Apply to perineum for 10 seconds, off for 5 seconds. Repeat 3 times. Do this 2 to 5 minutes before intimacy. Keep the rest of you warm. That's it. Free, simple, science-backed. What I love about this technique is that it requires no medication, no prescriptions, no expensive devices. It's just working with your body's natural physiology to enhance blood flow, exactly when you need it. You're not introducing anything artificial into your system. You're simply triggering responses that your body is already designed to produce. This is the kind of approach I've built my entire practice around, finding ways to work with the body rather than against it, using what we know about human biology to achieve results that don't come with side effects or long-term risks. I've had countless men over 60 tell me that this technique gave them back something they thought was lost forever. The confidence that comes from knowing your body can still perform. The connection with their partners that had been fading. The sense that aging doesn't have to mean giving up on intimacy. Try it once and let me know in the comments if you felt the blood flow surge. I read every comment and love hearing about your experiences. Your feedback helps me understand what's working and what other techniques might help you. Subscribe if you haven't already. I post twice a week with content specifically designed for men over 60 who want to maintain their vitality and performance naturally. Every video is based on real science, real physiology, and real results. Next video, I'm going to share a technique that requires 0 cold exposure. Perfect for winter, or for those of you who tried this and decided cold isn't your thing. It involves your hands, but not how you think. It's a pressure point technique that activates the same nerve pathways we talked about today, just without any ice involved. See you then, my friend. Stay warm. And remember, age is just a number. Your body is still capable of far more than you might believe. You just need to know how to unlock it. I'm Dr. Jocelyn, and I'll see you in the next one.